The Royal Rumble and Saturday night's main event is just around the corner, so I thought, why not? Should we sit down today and let's predict some match cards? Sit down, make yourself comfy, and let's get into it. Kicking things off, we have Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez. I'm going with this prediction because I think this feud on Monday Night Raw has been brilliant so far, particularly on the last episode of Raw where Raquel did cut a very fiery promo on Stephanie Vaquer. In my opinion, I thought it was the best promo she's cut since being a solo star. Now, this match might slightly be in doubt with Stephanie's injury. I don't really want to put the photos on the screen in case YouTube take it down, but I've seen photos on Twitter, on X, they're quite easy to see, with Stephanie's ankle still looking very, very bruised. Now, I've torn my ligaments 3 times in my left ankle, which, yeah, wasn't fun. So I've done that 3 times, and I know through recovery stages and things like that, that when the bruising looks the worst, the actual healthier the ankle is. Sounds weird, but that is the case. So fingers crossed, Stephanie is fit for this match. Now, who wins this match is up in the air. It all depends on what WWE want to do heading into WrestleMania season. I'll do a completely separate video with predictions when match cards get announced. I'll do a separate video there covering all of that. So yeah, it all depends on what direction WWE want to go into heading into WrestleMania. Do they want to keep the belt on Stephanie going straight into WrestleMania, or if they take the belt off it, like having Stephanie McKay in a Women's Royal Rumble, no one's complaining with that star power whatsoever. This is where the predictions get tasty, as these results will vary. So I've gone with clear my throat. I have gone with Randy Orton face to qualify against The Miz. Yeah, it's not 2014, lads. I want to see Randy Orton in the main event scene, beat The Miz, yeah, have him off on SmackDown. So Randy Orton goes through. I think a Drew McIntyre and Randy Orton feud would do really well going into WrestleMania. If I can recall correctly, Randy Orton versus Drew did happen during COVID, and it was a banging feud. It did carry quite a lot of the lockdown period. And I also remember I went to a SmackDown show in London this time last year, and Drew versus Randy was teased throughout sort of that time period too, and I was excited for that as well. So I will not be complaining with the Randy Orton versus Drew McIntyre feud. But for this to happen, Randy Orton does need to win the Fatal 4-Way at Saturday night's main event. This next match between these two people, I love it and I hate it because I want both of them to go through into the Fatal 4-Way, but it is Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov, and I think Sami is going to win. Keep it in mind, the Royal Rumble is in Riyadh, and even better, Saturday night's main event is in Montreal, Sami's hometown. Could you imagine how loud that Montreal crowd will be at Saturday night's main event if Sami gets the win? Keep that in mind, and heading in to Royal Rumble, if Sami Zayn faces Drew McIntyre, the Saudi crowd love Sami Zayn. Now, Sami Zayn is very interesting going into WrestleMania season, because even if you have him lose a Saturday night's main event, it would feel deflating at the time, but if you trust the process, build a little underdog story for Sami Zayn going into the Royal Rumble. He wins the Royal Rumble, then faces Drew at WrestleMania. The crowd will be well and truly behind him. But in caveat to that, if you have Sami Zayn win at Saturday night's main event and he faces Drew at the Royal Rumble, it could change hands the title, but I can't see it. So again, if Sami does win at Saturday night's main event and then loses at the Royal Rumble, I don't know what he'd do at WrestleMania. So comment down below what you would do in this situation. Trick Williams versus Matt Cardona is the match that's happening tomorrow on SmackDown, and I think Trick Williams will get the win. He's just been brought up through NXT. Yeah, Matt Cardona has just arrived back at WWE, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for him to eat this pin. And for me, Trick Williams slots straight into that scene too. His charisma, his aura, as people like to say, his confidence, the way he dresses, his style, his mic skills, everything adds up to be a main event star. And think back to last week on SmackDown as 2, Randy Orton and Trick Williams did have an in-ring segment which led to a bit of a brawl. Randy Orton nearly hitting the RKO on Trick Williams, but didn't. So again, it sort of does lead nicely into this match and Trick going through to Saturday night's main event. The final match that will happen on SmackDown tomorrow is Solo Sikoa versus Damian Priest. I'm 50-50 with this one. I don't really know what way it's going to go. I'm going to go with Solo Sikoa because he's the only person I can see eating the pin. I'd be quite surprised if Damian Priest gets through and he eats the pin, but I'd also be quite surprised if Trick Williams goes through and he eats the pin as well. So I'll go with Solo, maybe some MFT's interference. Aleister Black might interfere to cost Damian the title shot. Did I just say title shot? I meant the match going into Saturday night main event. So I can see Solo Sikoa getting the win. And unfortunately for Solo, eating the pin at Saturday night's main event. So this is the Fatal 4. Comment down below who you think will qualify for this match. I will speedrun through this match as this is the only match in this video that has been announced. It's Io Sky, it's Rhea Ripley, it's Rio against Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Now again, I'm unsure on who would win this match. Comment down below. This isn't a predictions video. I'm just predicting the match cards for now. So obviously, if this has already been announced, I can't predict it. So comment down below, though, who you think should win this match. For the fourth and final match on this card, I'm going with something a bit rogue, a bit sort of bizarre, but it does make sense. I'm going with CM Punk and the Three Musketeers. That's what they're getting called on this channel, the Three Musketeers. Dragon Lee, Penta, Rey Mysterio, up against the Vision. Braun Breaker, Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, and Austin Theory. I could just about do the four there. Yeah, so this match did begin on the Stranger Things This feud began on the Stranger Things episode of Raw, where the Three Musketeers came out and attacked the Vision to protect CM Punk during his match against Braun Breaker. Now, I can see this feud and this little mini feud carrying on into next week's episode of Raw. Now, I can't see CM Punk defending his title at Saturday night's main event, so putting him in this match does make all the sense in the world. I mean, in my opinion as well, I'd put CM Punk in a mask. Just have him join the group for the night. You know, why not? It'd be funny. Like, you're telling me, seeing CM Punk in a little lucha mask running around the ring with all his tattoos and just, like, it looked mental. Like, I know we've done an AEW with Sting with the face paint. So, whack him in a Rey Mysterio mask. Now it's time to predict the Royal Rumble card. Now it's time for me to make a decision. I am still unsure, even recording this video now, on who to pick. So I'm going to go with Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. I'm going to pick Randy Orton. You'll see why a bit later on. So Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton. I can see it happening. Randy Orton possibly could take the pin. Could Cody interfere and do a little heel turn to cost Randy the belt or something like that? Something might go on like that. But yeah, I'm going to go with Randy Orton because I can see them building Sami Zayn up into WrestleMania if they keep the title on Drew. I have predicted the tag championships to be defended on this show too. I'm going to go with the Usos versus the Vision. I did have to look down there, so using my vision to see the Vision. Wahey. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Usos versus the Vision for this match. I can see the Vision getting the win over CM Punk and the Three Musketeers at Saturday night's main event. That should then grant them enough to say, listen, Usos, give a go at your belts. I want a title shot. This, I think, could also open up different opportunities heading into WrestleMania. If there's like a multi-man ladder match, I think you could include the Usos and the Vision in that too. But a nice, straightforward tag match going into the Royal Rumble between these two could put on a great match. I'd probably go with like Bronson Reed and Austin Theory out of the members of the Vision. So the Usos versus Bronson Reed and Austin Theory going into Royal Rumble. So as you know already, the Royal Rumble also does have the other two matches, which is the men's and the women's Royal Rumble. So instead of just saying, well, listen, here's the Royal Rumble card, that's got two matches already confirmed on it that everybody knew, I am going to predict the final three from each match. Starting off with the Women's Royal Rumble, I am predicting these three because I think two of the people I've predicted could lead into a feud going into WrestleMania. You might already get a gauge of what I've just said there on who is going to be in my final three. So, the first person, I'm going to go with Liv Morgan. I think Liv Morgan will enter the past previous Royal Rumbles. She's been an Iron Woman. She's literally lasted for like an hour, full on, during the match, like one of the first or second or third entrances. I can't quite remember off the top of my head, but I'm going with Liv Morgan being in the final three and winning the match. Other two contestants to make up the final three, I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. I can see either Charlotte or Alexa turning on each other in this match to cost the other person the chance to win. Now, why have I gone with this is because I can see Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss going into WrestleMania being a singles feud that probably doesn't even need the belt because it's still got a backstory to it as well. I've enjoyed this tag team as well. I'll be quite surprised if they do get split up going into WrestleMania because I still don't think the time's right, although it is heavily rumoured and people are suggesting that's about time they separate. For me, I think they've been solid, a really good duo together. They work well together, both on and off screen. So yeah, I wouldn't break them up personally, but I'm going with what WWE are going to do. So I'm predicting Liv Morgan to win, the final three being Liv, Charlotte and Alexa, and either Alexa or Charlotte to turn on the other person. Finally, what you have all been waiting for, the Men's Royal Rumble, predicting the final three. So you'll already get a gauge of what my first person my first person, sorry, in this 3 is going to be, if you've watched the entire video, I'm going to go with number 1, Sami Zayn. He makes up the first person in the final 3. Like I've said previously in this video, I can see him going into Saturday night's main event, into the Fatal 4-Way, but unfortunately not getting the win. Again, it makes Montreal a little bit deflated, may feel a bit upset or sad that Sami didn't win, but then it builds up the momentum all the way going in to the Royal Rumble. And for me, does he win? Let's find out in a minute. Now, again, this video is based upon what I think WWE will do. And according to reports and rumours and speculation going on online, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes is a feud that is getting heavily teased for WrestleMania 42. So I'm putting Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes to make up my final 3. But I'm going with it. Sami Zayn is winning the Royal Rumble for me this year. Imagine the pop in Riyadh for Sami. Again, I think the top 2 and the favourites, I actually think of Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns. I think Roman's probably got exactly the same chance as Sami, because the Saudi Arabian crowd also love Roman Reigns too. So between them 2, I'm a bit stuck, I'm a bit unsure, but I'm going to go with Sami Zayn. But that is the final 3 that I'm predicting. That is it for today's video. Go in the comments down below, put your predictions in for Saturday night's main event and the Royal Rumble. If you did enjoy this video, go and check out my TikTok as well, at Wrestlevids. Thank you so much for watching. Go down below, drop a subscribe and follow Wrestlevids. See you later.